You want to see what happens when you leave the property untouched here in Hawaii without weed eating, poisoning, or taking care of it? Well, let's come with me on a little ride back to Leilani Estates after about, well, I would say 4.5 months. Right now we're driving on Pahoa 130, which is called a highway. Well, you can see it's not really a highway. It's really nice, green and lush around all the roads over here because it rains predominantly at night. However, sometimes rains during the day. We have a rainy season and we have not a rainy season. Right now, we have a season where during the day is really, really hot. And right now, we have these kind of couple of months where it's raining almost constantly at night. But it has been extremely dry at night, so I don't think all the plants are getting enough water. I can see on some of my plants, like avocados, especially sour saps, their leaves are kind of shrinking on a sour sap, and avocados are falling off the trees without being ripe because they don't have enough water. And unfortunately, most of the time, I'm failing to give them enough water. Anyway, so I'm really excited to get to the property and see what's what and where it stands. We are almost at a turnoff onto the road where the property is. It gets prettier and prettier here in Leilani Estates. Okay, here we are. We are on the street right now, driving towards the property. You can see we still have electrical poles here in Puna, where the electrical is wired, not underground. They're just electrical poles outside, and most of the people swing the wires overhead. And that's what we're going to do as well. There are some subdivisions where you have underground utilities, but they're mainly on the other side of the island in very new subdivisions. Okay, and here we are. Look at that. The gate is still here. The posts are still here. Nobody cut them down. My plants seem still to be planted. Okay, let's take a look around. Wow, look at the palms. How much bigger they got. Wow, look at that. I didn't install any lock or anything. I mean, obviously, you can still get inside on foot. This is just for vehicular traffic, but still, there is no lock. Palm, that's a tea leaf. That's Manila palm, another tea leaf and Manila palm, wait. Sour sap, you could barely see, Manila palm. Oh, yes, and over here you can see that some of the grass actually has overgrown over here on the front part. You can see some grass in the back. We're going towards the electrical pole, which all of this was completely clear and clean, and now you can see all these big tall weeds in the background. So here we are. There's lots of stuff, lots of small albizia trees. These are really hard to get out. These when they get bigger. I'm gonna try, since I'm here, I'm first going to try lift that rod into the proper angle, and if not possible, then I'm going to try to just rub some of those trees, especially here on this embankment. Here is one also. So these little things would be perfect things to make bonsais out of. I don't know, that tree in a back, that's one of those trees. That tree over there, see the big top. It's also one of those trees called albizia, and they're invasive species, and they grow wild. The reason why is because if there's an albizia on your lot or on a track from a dozer or tractor, then it happens to track all those seeds to your property, and you end up having all that on your property. That's all. So you have planted some palms, and this wasn't planted. So this was done, I would say, June.
and now it's October. So maybe beginning of June, July, August, maybe 3.5 months. So it's not terribly bad. But if you leave property untouched for about 6 months, then it will actually overgrow to the point of no return, and you will have to either clear it with a tractor or spend hours and hours of time to bring it back to what it was after you cleared it. Here we had some ivy that we took down, and a bunch of it is still there in the back. So I was hoping to make a small gate over here, and I started cutting pieces, but unfortunately I cut them too small or too short for a gate. So I'll try to come back and do that. So I'm gonna spend in about an hour, maybe two, trying to pull some weeds here from the embankment, make it look pretty again.
And here I am back at the property about after 4.5 months of not being here. We actually bulldozed the land on May 25th. We kept up with the work until May 31st. Part of it was planting the poles for the gate, planting a bunch of plants. We planted at least 12 to 14 palms, maybe more. We planted some soursap, avocado. Of course, we stick in a bunch of tea leaf. And then I also had some chestnut. I believe it's mama lumber chestnut, but I'm not sure. I had the plants from a friend and they just grew, so I'm putting them in. Anyhow, I'm really happy how the plants are doing. The grass also grew. It's not terribly bad. It's just one section over here on this side and going towards the front of the lot. So it will take me a couple of hours to do that, to weed eat that. Now let's have a look around the property and see what has grown over here.